All right, we just talked about two-way frequency tables. Now we're going to talk about two-way relative frequency tables. All right, relative frequencies can be thought of like percentages. Okay, keep that in mind. Relative frequency, think percent. All right. The only difference is we might not actually use a percent. We might use a decimal form instead. So in order to fill out this two-way table of row relative frequencies, we have to look at the row total. So notice how this says row total. Okay, talking about rows. Remember, rows run this way on our two-way table. So what is the total of the first row? The total of the first row is 33. The total of the second row, 31. So in order to figure out these frequencies, what we're going to do in each table is to just take 6 out of 33, 6 out of its row total. Then we're going to do 27 out of 33. And then we're going to do the same thing with 19, but now it's out of 31, right? It's a different row. 12 out of 31. Okay, we should use our calculator to figure out these decimals, and we can round those to the hundredth. All right, so on our calculator here, let's go ahead and pull that up. We want to round to the nearest hundredth. If I do 6 divided by 33, that's 0.181818. If we do this, what we know is the total has to be 1.00. So that means this has to be 0.82. Okay, next, let's do 19 out of 31. 19 divided by 31. 0.61. That means this has to be 0.39. Remember, the rows have to add up on this particular one. Another question might say the same thing, but it'll say column total. If it says column total, we should add up the other direction, just like this. The other assignment is reading two-way relative frequency tables. Let's try a couple of these. Question is, what percent of teams are in the AFC? All right, so what percent of teams are in the AFC? What percent of total teams? So what percent of this are in the AFC? So AFC, how many teams are in the AFC? 16. All right, so we have 16 teams in the AFC divided by 32 teams total. That's 50%. Right? That's a pretty easy one. 16 out of 32 total. Let's do a different question. This one says, of the students in the sample, what fraction chose flight as their superpower? So how many of the students, not male or female, total students, how many students total chose superpower to be flight? So 37 chose flight. What should we divide by? Should we divide by 50 male, 50 female, or 100? Well, we should do the total. So it doesn't specify what kind of student. All right, so we would say 37 out of 100. As an alternate question, what if they had said of male students, how many chose flight as their superpower? Well, that would be 26 male students out of 50 male students, and we would have answered B for that one instead. Right? So be careful, read carefully.